Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Two Stand Up Gals. I am your co-host, Erica Spera.
And I am your other co-host, Teresa De Gatano. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. We are back with another episode this week. And I don't know, up top, what do you want to get into? You want to talk about the Tonys a little bit?
Sure, fresh off the Tonys this weekend, we haven't really talked about the Patti LuPone, Audra McDonald drama. And so I was just kind of freshening up on it.
I will say this is the first time I've gotten sucked in by seeing clips of these live performances. I have now watched all of the live performances. Absolutely phenomenal. But I didn't
Mm.
sit and watch the entire thing. I have been sucked into the drama now of several different things that I was like, hold on. Drama in the theater world? Fill me in.
If there's any place where there should be drama, it's the theater world. I mean, it is just I remember my theater days and everyone's whispering who's going to get this part, who's going to get that part. It's a lot of dramatic people being dramatic. That's why I get so annoyed with these acceptance speeches. But that is my walk it off for the week. We're just going to start off top with that. And it's like Nicole Scherzinger, which I do have a hard time saying that. Scherzinger. Erica's like, Nicole Pussycat Doll.
Yeah. Nicole Pussycat. Everybody knows. Nicole Pussycat.
Okay, well, she won. Actually, I have a few things to say about this. We're going to get to Patti LuPone, though, too. But so Nicole won for Sunset Boulevard. I haven't seen it, but a lot of my friends have. And that acceptance speech was a performance in its own. Like, I got annoyed with this at the Golden Globes with what's her name, who was like, oh my God, like she was a mess after winning. I mean, it's amazing. Congratulations. But it is just like, I mean, I thought she was going to fall over. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, okay. The Man Who Won for Almost Happy Endings. Now, I saw that musical. I didn't like it. And it cleaned up. It's about two robots falling in love. I happened to go see it with my boy Colby and my girl Jory that had become friends from the bar. I saw it 2 days after I got broken up with. And I was not trying to watch two robots fall in love. I was just up there like this. When is this musical done? Luckily, there was no intermission. It was 90 minutes. I was like, get me out of here. Okay.
I have seen a lot of reviews saying it felt very long for having no intermission and not thinking it was that great. What is it called? Happy Endings? Is that the one?
Almost Happy Endings. Let me tell you, no one got a happy ending in my opinion. I just wasn't a fan. So he won for Best Actor. Okay. I thought he was gay. And then he's like, I want to thank my beautiful wife. This is dedicated to you. And she's very beautiful. But I was like, wait, I am very confused here. I was like, time out. Okay. And he gave quite the performance as well, winning the acceptance speech. And I was like, my goodness, it's just a lot. It's very over the top. And not that you can't be emotional, but it's just, my goodness gracious. And everyone's blowing the light left, right, center.
So the blowing the light is more rude because it's like, you are all in production, live production. You understand the importance of timing and how things need to move on time.
And also, it kicked me off of my sister's YouTube. So I had to go back in because it was 11 o'clock. And I was like, we're going over the time. Now I got to get back in. But I didn't watch a lot of the performances. I was watching the basketball game in the background, OKC and the Pacers. And so it was a hot night. Sports and theater, sports and song, everybody.
Both sides of the coin. Hold on. The man that gave this speech, I actually did see a clip of this speech because it was on some female boss babe page that I follow. And I forget what it's called, but it's called like the female something. And I remember thinking like, oh, what is this? What is this speech? And it was just the section of him basically praising his wife, like, thank you so much for everything. Like, I wouldn't have, anything if it wasn't for you. Which I do think is a fantastic thing to do. He basically was like,
Great.
hey, you fully take care of our family, so I can do this, 8 times a week or whatever, right? So this is the speech. It's like the dark hair, curly. Yeah, he's very, very good looking. So hilarious that it's a female boss page, whatever. And I go to the comments because I'm like trying to figure out what's this guy from and what's this thing. I didn't even know, is it the Tonys? Is it whatever? I pull it up. All the comments are literally saying what you're saying. They're like, oh, well, he's not gay. He got a wife, and I'm like, who's the audience of this page? I thought it was female boss babes.
It is really funny when you try to hide, like when someone's like, "Oh, my wife," and you're like, "Don't let it show on my face. Don't let it show." You're like, "Oh, nice," and you're like, "Well, I didn't know that." Like, I don't know. That was quite the speech, and I just didn't like it as much as everybody else did. I don't know. It got a standing ovation. I remember I talked about it on here when I saw Almost Happy Endings, and I was like, "Well, I had to stand anyway to get up because I had to leave." So, let's go, team.
Listen, I'll be honest. It's hard for me to fall in love with a musical specifically. I'm not the hugest fans of musical. I don't hate them. But
Mhm.
if someone said to me, it's about two robots falling in love, I'd be like, I think I'm going to skip that one. Personally, for me, I'm not ready for the AI musicals yet. So
Yep.
holler at me when it's regular people.
And then part of it is like they can erase their memory. And I was like, well, geez, maybe I could erase this as I was going through.
Is that
Teresa's
like the
just
basis
sitting.
of the play? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just that they live in where the Seoul, Korea, and then they're both robots who live across the hall from one another, and then they fall in love, and I don't know, it gets
What I'm saying is
weird.
that the conflict of the play, like, is it moral to erase the memory of the robots? Like, is it someone trying to break them up, or is someone going through heartbreak? Because that's actually a fascinating question for humans. It's like, kind of plays on severance and stuff. That it's like, all right, let's say you're going through like terrible, terrible heartbreak. You're going through it, and someone pops up. It's like, listen, I can just erase all the memories of that person. What do you think?
Mhm.
Would you take that opportunity? Would you do it?
Wasn't that what that one movie was about? Vanilla Sky, or that one, or the Jim Carrey movie? Also Men in Black.
I'm not. Well,
But
yeah, it was like the original was Men in Black.
what a soundtrack. There's some Pitbull on that soundtrack. I'm a big fan.
Oh no, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's the one
That's
you're
it,
thinking of.
with Kate Winslet, and they're walking on a beach in the wintertime. I just remember that there's snow on the beach.
Yes.
Gosh, what a question. I mean, yes and no, because you want to be able to feel, but at the same time, it's like, oh, to go through. You just want to get to the other side, and it's hard when you're in the middle of it, in the thick of it.
Yeah. So I guess maybe the question is, would you rather just erase and not have any thoughts of that person, memories, or have the option to fast forward time to when you would be over it, but you don't know what that date is going to be?
Fast forward. Well, it's like,
You
would you
would select
rather
fast
have?
forward,
I would fast
but
forward.
but what if it's like 6 months from now and you have like a cool trip planned or whatever? You're all of a sudden going to be like, wait a minute, I don't like know or remember the trip. Like you just fast forwarded through all of
Oh.
it, so you feel like I missed 6 months of my life, but it was in order to get over that person quicker.
I mean, I don't even know what I did the last 6 months of my life, Erica. So where have I been? What have I been doing? I don't know. I just haven't been in a bubble. I don't know. I went some places. I don't know. Where's the time gone? I have no idea. Like,
Yeah,
all
no,
of a
true.
sudden it's June. I'm just like, okay. And so, well, it's like that's like the saying, would you have rather never loved, or to love and get your heart broken, or never loved at all? Wah wah.
Wah wah. Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
No, just kidding. I
it's a
mean, I would
tough
pick to
one.
love in that one because that's also. I guess that's another question. Like, ask someone in the middle of a heartbreak, and they're probably like, "I just take the not love. Then I'd just be
Mhm.
fine. I'd just be
I
fine to
wish
get
I
over
never
it."
met you.
Yeah.
Ah. And so this is the AI overview of Patty LuPone.
Wait,
Patty
wait, wait,
LuPone
real
recently.
quick.
Oh,
One
yes.
thing I just looked up.
Oh.
So I have a theory. Maybe Nicole Pussycat was especially emotional because two things, all right? One, we never recognized her for being a good singer. Okay, she's in the
Mhm.
Pussycat Dolls. It's a pop group. They're hot. That's who she was. She was the hot lead front Pussycat. Okay, she knows it. Everybody knows it. She would be furious. There's actually wait, no. This is there's this clip I saw of a live performance they did where another Pussycat who had a stronger voice steps kind of in front of her and kind of impromptu belts, a like that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Nicole Pussycat's face drops and is furious that this girl like steps in front and takes kind of spotlight, like you see it. So that's one part of this theory. Second part, I looked it up. Pussycat Dolls have never won a Grammy for anything.
Well, no. I mean, are we surprised at that? I didn't think that they would.
The only awards they have won, I just searched awards, were a couple music video awards. Thus proving the theory, like, you're a hot group. You're a hot group. It's not that you're bad singers, but nobody's like, wow, Nicole Pussycat, the next Mariah Carey. You know? And you don't have a Grammy or anything like that in your music career. So getting this Tony, and it's the musical, she's got the big solo. She also I did watch her performance of the Tonys. It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like add an extra onto this layer here of her like emotional like moment. I'm finally getting recognized that I have a good voice.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Speaking of Pussycat Dolls, I posted a Danity Kane song on my Instagram. That was another great group. I love some
Yes.
Danity Kane with Aubrey O'Day, and she can sing.
That girl
But
can dance too.
she
I
ca-
did
she
watch those
could.
making the bands. It's
Oh, I
crazy.
watched them making the band, and she called Diddy out from the beginning and said that
Oh, yeah.
he was there. Yeah, that he was nasty or there was some stuff going on. But I do like those groups. Not saying that I'm like not surprised they didn't win any awards, but
Listen, I thought Pussycat Dolls was going to be a one-hit wonder. I was surprised they had like 6-7 hits. I thought it was going to be "Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me." Goodbye. I thought
it
that was going to
wasn't.
be it.
I'll be honest, I don't think I can name any of their songs, but then I'm like, oh, that's them. That's the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was, yeah. So they're up there with there was one girl, there was like a bunch of them in a row that were like pop. It was the pop princesses.
Yeah, there was Danity Kane, I believe, came after the group Dream. Because
Oh my
Dream kind of
gosh.
was a spin-off of it, was like, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98
Mhm.
Degrees. Then they're like, let's do this with girl groups as well. They create Dream, and they created what was the other one? I want to say it was called like Brat or something.
Oh.
I forget, but it was under that same manager as Backstreet Boys. They're in the documentary. And then O Town comes out.
You sound so serious talking about this. And you're like, they're in the documentary of the Backstreet Boys. Same manager within O-Town. You do. You sound. Well, I tell you
Buddy,
how
I am
OKC
serious.
sounds like a boy band. OKC. It sounds like it does. It sounds like a boy band.
It does.
K-pop.
And what was the
That's
band
it.
that Jesse McCartney was in? That was another one that like it was O Town, and then what was the Jesse McCartney band?
That was a little after my time.
Well, I was out of the boy band phase, but I remember when Jesse McCartney broke off to his own solo career.
Oh, well, like the Carters.
Dream Street was the little boy band. Yeah, crazy. Then it was oversaturated. We had too many groups. They all went away. Then the Pussycat Dolls came to be, and it was like, oh, we're ready again for a group mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And then they quickly break up because the lead person is always like, I'm out of here.
I'm out. Done.
I'm out.
Done. I got a Beyonce out. And do it. Wait. So, okay. So this is the Patti LuPone.
Yeah, fill us in on the drama.
She recently apologized for comments she made in a New Yorker profile, particularly those regarding, I think it's Keisha Lewis. I hope I'm saying that right. And Audra McDonald. In the interview, LuPone made disparaging remarks about Lewis and implied a riff with McDonald, stating that she was, quote, not a friend, unquote. The comment sparked backlash and led LuPone to issuing an apology and a public statement acknowledging the harm caused. So, and then Lewis called out LuPone for being racially microaggressive. So after she complained about the sound levels during Lewis's show Hell's Kitchen. Oh, she's in Hell's Kitchen. Oh, okay. Is Hell's Kitchen This Girl Is on Alicia Keys? Is that the Alicia Keys musical? I wanted to see that. Love Alicia Keys, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Featuring the hit songs of Alicia Keys at the Schubert Theater.
Yeah. So that's the drama. And then Oprah came out and presented an award, and she was like, oh, there's been some lively conversation between the actresses, and people laughed. And Oprah said, what else did Oprah say? So there's a lot of talking going on, which is also lines from Beyonce's American Requiem for a Dream, or whatever that song is. A lot of talking going on. So that's the drama. So why can't we all just get along here?
Yeah.
But no.
And I think this was mainly fueled by. It seems like Patti LuPone has had beef with specifically Audra McConnell. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Audra, is that her name?
McDonald. Mm-hmm.
McDonald, excuse me, McDonald. Because she's doing one of Patti LuPone's, I guess, like notorious roles, or she was the first to do, or helped make it be a hit musical the first time. Which is what is the musical?
Gypsy.
Gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's my confession. I saw the performance of Audra that she did at the Tonys. Holy shit, unreal. Phenomenal. I was sucked in. I'm like, I have no idea what this musical is. I don't know what this is about. But her performance is basically like showing a woman having a mental breakdown, kind of psychotic break through the song. She acts and performs it and sings it so well throughout that I was like, holy shit, what is this? But also, I'm confused that it's like Gypsy, Rose, whatever. Now, like I said, I'm not a musical person. I don't have the biggest knowledge. So I'm sitting there being like, holy shit, there's a musical about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the murderer? Hollywood works fast. Like, I'm also seeing the comments and everyone's like, she played that narcissistic whatever mother so well, da da da. And I'm like, yeah, Gypsy Rose's mom was like wanted attention, so she kept pretending her kid was sick. I was like, well, I got to see this musical. So then I'm looking it up and I'm like trying to figure out what this is about. Turns out I don't know what it's about. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has nothing to do with this. It's been a Broadway musical for many, many years. I just had never heard of it till now.
That is really funny because you were like, "Is that the girl who killed her mom?" And I was like, "What?" And then, oh man, that was pre-podcast, folks. That was very funny. Well,
listen, I'm sorry. I was cracking up myself because I was like, Gypsy Rose, man, really ranking in the cash with a big Broadway hit.
Well, do you know that there was a Tammy Faye Baker musical? And I sat beside this guy at the bar, these two guys back in January, and he was so sweet. And he was like, "Well, I'm back here because I was in the Tammy Faye Baker musical, and Elton John did, I guess, the music for it." And then he's like, I said, "Oh, I never heard of it." And he goes, "Yeah, I know, because it closed." And I was like, "Oh," like, so I was like, I couldn't imagine that would be a big attraction. Like
I don't know. But then again, there's like a musical about fucking corn, and that's a big hit. So who the hell knows?
Shuckers. What is it called?
Shuck it or whatever. I don't
Shuck it. Like Shuck it. Sorry, it sounds like Shack it. The Shack-It, the jacket. That's a Shack-It. The shirt jacket.
That's another one that I kept seeing people posting, being like, "The corn musical is great," and I'm like, no one is telling me anything that this is about. It's literally just about corn.
Well, there was another musical that won last year all the time. Like it won for like best musical, and it was like adults as kids. I don't know. It looked kind of weird, but I don't even know what a lot of these musicals are about. I know the classics. The first musical I was ever in was The Music Man. So that was fun.
See, I heard that was phenomenal when Hugh Jackman was in it on Broadway.
Hugh Jackman. That was my Oprah impression. No idea. But
Kimberly Akimbo?
That's it, Kimberly Akimbo.
Akimbo? What is that? What was that one about?
I don't know, but it won for a lot. Kimberly Akimbo, because I can't say it. Kimberly Akimbo. Sorry, just Kimberly Akimbo. That's it. Musical 2023. And then I think it closed soon after. So,
musical tells the story of a 16-year-old girl named Kimberly who ages rapidly due to a rare genetic condition. She navigates high school, family dysfunction, and the possibility of first love. Okay, so this feels like feels very original. I've never heard of that story in my life.
A real coming to age story. Finds her first gray hair in 10th grade. First, she's using retinol when she's 12. No, that's me. That's
the drama.
But yeah, she's getting Botox.
It's like a reverse Benjamin Button musical.
That's right, Benjamin Buttons. George Clooney's wife, Mrs. Clooney. Now, she is stunning. By the way, she is Iman, right?
Yes,
she is. Her hair. She is just stunning. Also, a very intelligent woman as well. But they were there for Good Night and Good Luck. Because he's in that, and that's also when I get right off the one train. There's this big billboard. So
there's more and more. I mean, there's more and more actors, comedians, singer that are all doing Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating. The Othello got a little shade from our girl Audra. There was this like, where they do like actors interviewing actors and stuff. You ever seen these interviews?
Mm-hmm.
They're going back and forth, and he was like, "Yeah, I would love seeing her play," and she said something like, "Yeah, I'd love to see yours. I can't afford tickets."
Ooh,
I was
zing!
like, "Ooh, zing zing, zing zing."
Yeah, that was messed up that it was that expensive. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that
That's what they're
was
saying.
that was very expensive for those tickets. Still did not get to see it, and I didn't finish reading the play. So,
I mean, I'm not blaming you, but I saw something like now they're up to like $900 a piece, which is absolutely insane.
well, that's what it was. I mean, he
That's what
paid
it
eight
was even
hundred.
then.
Yeah, he paid 1,600 for 2 tickets,
Damn.
16 and change. And so, but it not that it closed, but Denzel's not in it. I think the last performance was June 8th, so
Yeah.
which was Sunday. Yeah. So
Well,
we
the thing
did
is, it
have
was
a
all about Denzel being in it. I didn't even realize Jake Gyllenhaal was in it till that interview. I was like, "Ooh, what play is she shading?" And I looked it up. I'm like, "Oh, he's in Othello." Oh shit! No
I
wonder
saw
those tickets are a lot. Two of them.
I saw him once at the Two Boots Pizza years ago, and I was like, I thought I knew him, and it was funny, and I was like, hey. And then I was like, oh, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, okay. He also looked like a guy that I had dated, and he kind of resembled him a lot. And like the guy was cute. And I was like, is that Kevin? And then I was like, no, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. So I was like, oh goodness.
Oh my god! Did you give him a like? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I knew you.
No, I like paused, and he was nice. He goes, hi. And I was like, all right, well, have a good day. Like I just say hi, just over there, like, it's hey, celebrities are just like us. They like Two Boots. We didn't get to our question last week. I feel like we have a few questions
We
um,
do.
from our loyal listeners.
All right. Which one do you want to? Which one do you want to go to first? We have one here that's about kind of age and pressures of being a certain age. We have one that's about a one date breakup text cringe.
Yes, that's what I want.
Which one? The breakup text cringe?
Breakup text cringe.
Okay. Leave it anonymous. Okay. Hello, ladies. I wanted to get your input on this text I got after I broke things off with a guy. A confront or punt situation. Oh, okay. By the way, anybody listening, you want to send us an email? We have an email to standupgals@gmail.com. I keep forgetting to plug that up top, but send us your emails. Send us your questions. All right. Backstory of this one date breakup text. We matched on Hinge, chatted for a couple of days, then went out. The date was fine. I pride myself on being a good conversationalist and listener. We had a lot in common, but he was talking more by far. A lot of times, this leads to mismatched understands of the date. He clearly had a blast, while a lot of my time was spent listening to him. Parentheses, if you catch my drift.
Welcome to dating men. If they talk. Yeah, sorry.
Welcome. I was already feeling discouraged and not into him the closer we got to that second date. Our first date was on a Tuesday, and the second one was the following Sunday. My intuition is never really wrong on these things, and something was off. I ended it very kindly and wished him the best of luck. However, I feel this text I received threw me for a loop. The conversation we were having before ending things was of a political context. We have different views. We were more different than he is leading in this attached text, but I digress. After that exchange, I really felt things weren't a match. So, would this attached text have convinced you to stay? Do you think that was his intent? I, for one, found it to be ick-worthy / borderline manipulative and immediately rolling my eyes. Maybe it's a me problem.
So what was the text?
Okay, editor's note before this text. He and I are both 27 in a mid-sized Midwest city. I'm very liberal and work in women's healthcare research. My best friends work. My best friends work at Planned Parenthood. We are working on the front lines of keeping healthcare safe where things are constantly voted against. This is one of my core beliefs and practices. He didn't really understand or try to understand the importance of this, which completely rubbed me the wrong way, in addition to a few other mismatches. Okay. So we have that background context. Here is the text. It's all one big paragraph from this guy. Look, I don't want to ruin a night either. I don't disagree with you politically. I'm just saying there are aspects of conservatives that I agree with. That's all. If this is truly that important to you and you feel that we aren't a good fit, I'm not going to try and persuade you. But I really liked you, Allison, more than I expected to after just one date. I told all my friends about you, made a list of your likes and dislikes. Smile when your name pops up. I don't do that for just anyone. But again, if you don't think we're a good fit because of slightly different thoughts politically, that's okay. Thank you for being kind and for being a great listener. I wish you all the best, too. So here's the rest of her thing. After she asked, like, would this text have convinced you to stay? Basically, like, go on another date, whatever. She finds it borderline manipulative and immediately rolled her eyes. She says, I set my boundary of our differences, felt too monumental to really talk it out. I've known this man now for 4 days with one singular date. This feels way too intense for that. I was worried that this was a quote avoidant side of me coming out, but it just feels like a strange text to send when we hardly know each other. Thanks. All right. So that was a
Okay.
lot to take in. Where do you want to start? What are your thoughts?
Well, right away. Okay, so if she works for Planned Parenthood, also first and foremost, applause, applause. We applaud you. Thank you for your hard work, and we support you. If he doesn't, that is it. That's a deal breaker. Like depending on what he said, I know he said he leans towards conservatives, but regardless of how much you like somebody, that is going to be that's not going to work. So I think she's got to stick to her guns on that one. And because she is so passionate about it. And now with politics being the way that they are, and we don't really talk politics on here, but it is a deal breaker. Honestly, I feel if someone feels very different from you politically, it used to not be this way, but now I think we're so extreme that both sides, like, hey, I can't lean into this because that goes against, like she said, her core beliefs and values. Yeah, it's a little intense that he told all of his friends about her. It's nice. I do think it's sweet. I think he does sound genuine, that he liked her and wanted to see her again. But I also think, he was like, I'm not going to persuade you. I don't think it was an ick text. I didn't get an ick. I thought it was just very honest that, I did have a really good time with you and I would like to see you again. But did she respond after that or no? No.
She didn't give us an update if she did.
Okay.
It sounds like this is his response to her saying she
Mhm.
doesn't want to go out on another date and thinks they don't align politically.
Mhm.
Because I took his response. I didn't take it as a manipulative one personally. I took it as him essentially saying, I don't mind that we politically aren't aligned. Like, I'm still willing to go out again. I want to go out again.
Mhm.
Especially because he threw in, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to persuade you. This is how I'm feeling, is basically the next paragraph. I see how that can feel manipulative. Like, oh, are you just saying all these things to make it like, well, but I like you so much and blah, 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 and put pressure. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you where I'm like, yeah, it sounds like you're just not the match. You're not going to be the match. And it sounds like on his end, he was fine with the political mismatch. She's not.
Mhm.
And that's more than okay that you're not and you're letting this go. I don't think this is a like, you're being too quick here situation to be writing this off.
Mhm. No, I agree with you on that one. And there are certain things that are just deal breakers, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. And if she felt that way, good, and just felt like, hey, this is something I'm not going to compromise on, then very good. It was the two guys that met at the bar I work at. They met a year ago, Memorial Day. Two handsome men. They met randomly. They ended up breaking up because one is like a human rights type lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one, he ended up voting for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, this is it. Like I can't this is it. This is a deal breaker. Like, so two different sides of the spectrum. So anyways, and that was like after they had been dating for 6 months. So I think it's good if you recognize that from the jump, like, hey, this is not for
Mm-hmm.
me, or and both sides of the coin.
Yeah, this is a little bit of like a side note. And I think she feels it extra because she works in women's healthcare research. So it
Mhm.
aligns with what she's passionate about and her political views, right? This actually came up today. A guy friend of mine sent me like a screenshot of like a conversation with the girl he's about to go out with. And he said something to me about, he was like, is it bad that in general I don't have much interest in like talking about work? Like his work, their work, whatever. And he said, is that bad? And I said to him, there's often a complaint I have from a lot of female friends, or I've even had this complaint myself, where it's like we feel like men don't give a shit what we do for a living and don't care about like our accomplishments, and we get no praise for it.
Mm-hmm.
I get that you don't like centering your life around work, or, you know, he said like, I want to hear about your passions, your hobbies, like things you're interested in. He's like, I just enjoy talking about that more. I said, for sure. But if you never talk to somebody about their work, it gives off this thing like you don't care at all what we do, and like there's kind of a pride to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, just know that. I said, because I agree, like sitting on a date and we're both talking about work, it's not sexy. It's not fun. It's not like, I don't know, a more flirty vibe. Like, or maybe you don't feel like you're really getting to know the person. But a lot of us have pride in what we do. And that is a big part of our identity. Is like, we went into whatever field we went into for a reason. It's something that interests us. Like, it's all interconnected to who we are. So, and I feel like she's feeling that basically double here, because she's like,
Mm-hmm.
not only is this my work, but I'm also passionate about it from a personal standpoint and my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's even more important, that she's feeling like, oh, he was kind of dismissive about the whole thing. You know, it's one thing if he's like, I honestly don't know much about that. Okay, but like get a little interested, act a little
Mm-hmm.
interested. When people dismiss what you do for a living, it does hurt. It does feel like, okay, I guess it doesn't matter that I worked my ass off doing what I did. And that's something that I think is very different for men and women, where like men often get a lot of praise for like, oh, you do this. Oh, like we act interested. We'll talk about it. But women feel like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter that, you know, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a this. Like often they feel like men are kind of like, okay, so it's like, okay, great, all right, yeah, never mind that 8 years of school I went to, you know, like,
Yeah. It's
so,
especially if she felt like he was doing that on the date, that he wasn't asking questions and engaging with
mm-hmm.
her and asking her questions about herself. And
Oh, that's a
so
completely separate issue.
that's a completely separate if he was not like, because she said he did a lot of the talking. So I'm like, oh, was he engaging at all, or was he um so yeah, so it is true. That's a really good point. That, and I get that most people might not want to, like some people might not want to talk about their job, but it's good to know, like, well, how was your day? What'd you do today? I know that
Mm-hmm.
that's such a like mundane question, but it is. I like to know the mundane things. Like, so how was your day? I had a guy I dated, a Dominican guy, a few years back. He always was like, so what'd you eat? What'd you eat today? What'd you have for lunch? I was like, well,
That's
that's personal,
adorable.
isn't it? And then I was like, okay, great. So yeah, it was what you eating? What you doing over there? So
That's so funny. What'd you
yeah,
eat?
what'd you eat? And I was like, oh, this is funny. This is.
That feels like a question like my mom would ask me. Like, did you eat today? Did you eat enough? What did you
Yeah.
eat?
What'd you eat? What'd you have? What are we having? Like,
Uh,
but I like people that get excited about food. You know, it's like, great, you're excited. Let's get excited about it.
oh my god. Well, when I lived with my grandparents one summer, before I like moved into the city, I was interning at this place. So, you know, so I lived with them, and so I would come home and eat with them most nights. So if I didn't, they were concerned with several things. First of all, did I eat dinner?
Mhm.
Second, how much did I spend? Like, was the next question. Like, and how much did that cost you at New York City? I was like,
Yes.
all right, everybody calm down. But, and I would lie to them because it was like, oh, they're going to freak out if they know what it really costs. Like, and it's not even that much money, but to them, they'd be like, we have
Oh
food
my
here.
goodness.
So you
Yeah.
should come home and eat here. I'm like, you're in New Jersey. I'm not going to come back to New Jersey and just eat dinner for free. And it is delicious. Don't get me wrong. Okay.
Mhm.
And then head back in. Okay. You know, they were very concerned that I wasn't eating dinner. I was like, okay, I am.
It's funny. At what point does like the parents and grandparents get concerned that you're not eating, and then the point that they're like, okay, you're eating too much. Okay, there's like that fine line
Oh,
between the two. That it's like
constant
like
battle.
for men when they're like, oh, did you eat? Did you eat enough? Are you sure you want to go for seconds? Are you sure? You're like, I'm fine. Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh. Oh, that was
It
my
is fun.
grandmother all the time. She's the first one to be like, yeah, you put on some weight, you know? And then she's like, here, look what I made. I'm like, you can't do both. You can't do both. You can't be trying to feed me and then telling me to eat less, and then you make all this food. Whose fault? Whose fault is it? It's not my fault.
Well, I laughed about that when, like, my dad would pick me up and have, like, 2 sausage, egg, and cheese from McDonald's and a Coke, like, which is great when he picks me up from the train station, and then my mom's like, "Have you tried the Kelly Clarkson gummy? The gummy that the keto gummy." And I'm like, "Get your stories straight here, people, okay? I got one doing the keto gummy, I got the other one, feed me McDonald's," which is good. A cold sausage, egg, and cheese is still good. It's still not bad. How about I went into Panera? This is a side note. Love my Panera sips. I went in yesterday morning because I did an early workout class. I did a 7 to 8 a.m. workout class. And I was like, oh, you guys have breakfast. Like, I didn't realize that of course they have breakfast, Panera. But I was like, oh, they changed the menu like after 10:30. So I was like, why do I never see this breakfast menu on here? I'm like, oh. I mean, I was baffled. I was like, oh my goodness, look at it. Great. So I felt so accomplished getting up and getting like my workout in that early. And it was such a peaceful walk across the park. Like the birds were chirping. I didn't even listen to music till like the last like 7, 8 minutes. And then I have my people I say hi to on the way. I have a doorman on the Upper East Side that I pass him all the time. I say hi to him. There's another guy that's always hosing down the sidewalks, and I say hi to him. Now we say hello. Then there's John, a guy that I met that just sits outside of the Tal Bagels, the bagel
Oh,
spot.
the
And
bagel spot.
he's nice. He's retired. So I talked to John. He's like, oh, late workout today. I'm like, hi, John, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I got his name, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, just because I'm like, I walk by you all the time. What is your name? So yeah, I got my usuals. Then there's Peter, the doorman around the corner that I see when I walk to the train. And I say hi to everybody. Just me walking down the street, saying hi. All the doormen I say hi to.
And a hello to Jake Gyllenhaal on the way. Hey,
Jake Gyllenhaal. What up, Jake? I was looking nice yesterday when I was dressed up. And so I was like, there was an extra swing to my step. You know, as my mom said, your back porch has a little swing. I was like, boom, boom, boom. So now do we have, what was the other question about?
Yeah, I was going to say our conclusion here. You're good. I think you're good.
Yeah.
And I think he also was respectful. Like he pleaded a case to be like, hey, I wanted to go out again.
Mhm.
Said, thank you for being kind. Wish you the best. Yeah, that men not asking questions thing is so unfortunately common on dates. I feel like this is now a top complaint I'm hearing from all women.
Mm-hmm. Engage. I actually thought his message was very kind of honest and nice. Like it was kind of refreshing to be like, I actually really liked you. I liked you more than I thought I would. But if you're not interested, like, okay, that's the hard part of dating.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, I actually, this is funny. It was Match that I went on a date with a firefighter. Okay, so I've dated one firefighter my entire life, and like one. And people think I just date firefighters left, right, center. I'm like, no, one firefighter. Okay,
oh, that's so funny.
So I went on a date with this guy. He was a firefighter. We went to, this was like 2021, 2022. I don't know, but we went out to JG Mellon on the Upper East Side, got the burger, and I thought we had a really nice time. But our schedules were not aligning. And so like he asked to like go out for my birthday. And I was like, sure, like I'd love to take you out this week for your birthday. I was like, sure, excellent. And so we were messaging back and forth. And then he's like, I just have to be honest, like I'm not looking for like a pen pal. So like I feel like all you want to do like is just message back and forth. And I'm just not looking for like, a pen pal. And I was like, what? Like we had a date. I just didn't respond. I was just like, okay. Like it was a weird reaction to, I was like, didn't you ask me to go out again? I thought we were going to go out this week for my birthday. Like,
yeah. When did he send the pen pal thing? Was it after you made the plans?
Yeah. After like, yeah, let's go out this week. And
were you messaging him a lot? Is that why he said that? Like, he's like, I don't want to text much.
No, he was the one that texted like every 2 hours, like, hey, how's good morning, beautiful? Like he was that. And like, how's your day going? 2 hours in. It's still going, buddy. We're just getting started.
Oh.
And so that's why I was like, oh, it's just kind of weird. And I was like, what? That was weird. And
well,
I just
yeah, because I'm like, I've had that thought with people, but it's usually just because they're not making plans. But I'm like, I don't want to sit here and chat and we don't have plans to go out again. Like talking is nothing. I don't want to just sit here and chat to some guy online, especially.
It's true.
So I don't think he was rejecting you. Maybe he just was being like, hey, I know him. Like the benefit of the doubt is to say, oh, he's messaging a lot, but was trying to say like, hey, just so you know, like I do want to date, or I don't know, or maybe it was more so the conflicting schedules that it wasn't flexible enough for him, I guess.
Yeah, and also politically, he didn't want to get the vaccine because he's like, I need to do more
Mm.
research on it. And I was like, oh, you need to do more research on the vaccine, okay? Because you
In your lab?
in your lab there at the firehouse. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get back on. I mean, I did update some photos the other night on Hinge. I just thought I was put some new spicy Turks and Caicos photos on. All my photos are like beach vacation photos,
Yeah.
so
So what?
showing the
That's,
skin.
you like to
Yeah,
vacation. Let them know.
I know.
Let them know.
I
I'm
did.
looking for a pen pal, and I'm not looking for a homebody. We're going places.
We're going out. I read on my WhatsApp this actually the Dominican guy that I dated. And when I don't know if you go back and read old messages, but it came up on WhatsApp like when I was messaging him from a trip in Iceland. And he was so gaslighting me. And like looking back and rereading the messages, like one of the things he said was, we dated for a couple months. And one of the things he said was, is I felt like you just wanted me to take you on dates. And I'm like, what? Like, we barely went out on any dates. Like, we went out a
Mm,
couple times, like, but I mean, we went out, like, I would stay at his apartment and, like, for a couple nights and, like, because he worked, like, remotely. And he's the guy last stop on the D train. He's the guy that joke is about. And, second to last stop on the D train. But I was like, oh, and like reading them back, I'm like, yeah, what is this guy talking about? Like, I was like, talk about shifting blame. Okay. Like, it was
no,
weird.
that's a weird manipulative thing that he's
Hmm.
saying that so he doesn't have to take you on more dates, like, or to make you feel bad, so you
Yeah.
don't ask for that. But
I was like, of
I would
course I want to
especially
go
find
out.
that weird if I was like, yeah, we've only gone out like 3 times.
Yeah. Calm
Like,
down. Like, we
relax.
order, he's the one that asked me, what did I eat?
Yeah, you're the one who always wants to know what I eat, but then you don't want to go out and eat anything.
Yeah.
That would drive me more nuts, honestly.
It was, that was weird looking at that. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry we didn't work out. I was like, that's because you ended it. That's why. You're the
Oh my
one that,
god.
like, oh, Lord. Oh, goodness
Oh man.
gracious. Oh, my.
I have to say,
Um,
I'm proud. I don't have the habit of like going back and re-looking at messages or photos or anything with exes. I'm pretty good at that. I have been known to stalk the social media. I've done that. Who doesn't do
Does
that every once
anyone
in a while?
not stalk the social media? Like, who is that strong that doesn't
I mean,
stalk
if
the
I
so
hit the block button, I'll keep it blocked. That's why I
Okay.
block, is to be like out of sight, out of mind. It's like you got to break the cocaine habit of checking it.
Mhm.
You know.
It is better to be blocked. It's just better. Certain people, it's
Mhm.
fine. You can just mute them, and then you're just like, "Meh," but it is a challenge to not check.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
a
that's why
it
I think
is.
breakups back in the day were better. It's like you were done and then gone, just gone. No constant reminders of seeing them around. Even the
Well,
fact that we have all those photos and stuff in our phone and can easily go look and
mhm.
see people is like, yes, a beautiful thing and then also a terrible thing when you're going through a breakup.
Well, the Dominican guy, he was not on social media. So that was very helpful because I was like, okay, he's not on the socials. So nothing to
Yeah.
stalk here, nothing to see here, nothing to
Nowhere
stalk
to
here,
go.
nowhere to go. Um, well, should we save the question for next week?
Yeah, we'll save the other question for next week. But
Mhm.
if you guys want to send us a question, two standupgals at gmail.com. Straight up, we have it. And we have the Patreon. If you want extra episodes every week, patreon.com/slash two standupgals. And a preview is coming up next at the end of the episode. So thank you all for
Woohoo!
listening.
Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
She also did a check with me of like, how are you? Like, do you think you're gonna be staying in LA? And I did basically ask her like, if I was to leave, how much notice do you need, right? Because she
Hmm.
always told me like I would give you a couple months notice if he was to move in or I was going to be leaving, blah blah blah. And we had a nice chat about basically close friends being around or not. And she said, well, part of the reason like I am with my boyfriend so much is a lot of her close friends have pretty much all left LA, and she had a big chunk leave during the pandemic and then after. And she said like, yeah, I knew it was going to probably be really hard for you too when your two close friends really left. And I was like, yeah. And like today I played beach volleyball, and then after our game there were a bunch of people that also play in the league that will stay and hang out and just play like pickup. And so people on my team were like, oh yeah, we stay and play pickup. There's like this group chat, blah, blah, blah. I get added to the group chat. So I stayed and played and met all these other people that are just like so nice, so friendly. And like that's a moment where you're like, okay, I am like finding other people. I am like making new friends. And it's hard though in those moments, like I will think like, yeah, I can make it work here. But there's still this like thought in the back of my head of like, but how much do I want to? You
Ah.
know? I still like
Mhm.
have a little bit of that like protest in me that I'm like, you can, but how much is really going to feel like a true closeness and intimacy with people that really does feel like that like friend where you're like you pick up where you leave off, or this like real
Mhm.
intimate friendship that like I just have so many of those on the East Coast or now just in other places that have like left LA or wherever they are.
Mhm.
It's just hard, you know. If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode and get extra episodes every week, join the Patreon, which is patreon.com/2standupgals. Or you can also now join from the Apple Podcast app, right from your phone. You'll also get ad-free episodes of the public podcast, in addition to the extra episodes every week. So to join, go to patreon.com/2standupgals.